step function jump.
We are amongst the fastest growing streaming markets in the world.
Right now you're clicking, tomorrow you're going to be touching, hopefully on the smart screen. Day after you're going to be doing gestures. And when you get into immersive video, you're pretty much going to be able to be in the video.
We are living in the era of abundance, where more content is available for people to listen to or watch, and it's going across boundaries.
We are seeing a significant adoption across different aspects of the digital world, even in financial services.
Technology gives the rich people what they always had in a better format. But technology will give poor people what they can never dream of having. So it's going to be very, very exciting future.
We aim to inspire all to dream, to define, and to build a better future.
Good afternoon, everyone. And it's my pleasure to welcome all of you to the Microsoft India Development Center campus and to this press conference. My name is Rajiv Sodhi. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of Microsoft India and your host for today. I'll take you through all the proceedings. Let me take this opportunity to welcome our guests. First, our guest of honor, Shree Rajiv Chandrasekhar, Honorable Minister of State for Information Technology, Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. Shree Anant Maheshwari, President, Microsoft India. In the audience, Mr. Joel Reifman, U.S. Consul General in Hyderabad, and Mr. Rajiv Kumar, Managing Director, India Development Center. We'll briefly address the gathering and open up later on for question and answer. But first, let me share a video which showcases the growing impact that the cloud has in our lives. Can we roll the video, please?
Shout out to the Microsoft team for continuing to strengthen your commitment to India and work with the industry, work with the ecosystem, government to strengthen our position as a leader in the data economy.
KPMG in India and Microsoft have a long-standing alliance with a joint aim of helping organizations in their digital transformation journeys. Together, we are committed to develop and offer business-led and technology-enabled solutions and services for our clients, which enable them to be at the forefront of the change.
Our ambition is to deliver better business outcomes for our clients, and Microsoft Cloud Solutions are a very important part of this growth journey.
Cloud is the most disruptive and value-creating technology of our time, and it's the foundation for the digital transformation that's driving profound changes in how we live and work and play. We're seeing a dramatic acceleration in the move to the cloud across industries and governments. In fact, the recent annual CEO survey of NASSCOM called out cloud as one of the key priorities for the industry.
Because there's such a great alignment in terms of digital needs as well as the value system, I see a very rapid uptake of cloud and cloud capabilities by the Indian, both the Indian entrepreneur as well as the Indian corporate.
For us, bringing everything on the cloud gave us huge amount of time in terms of focus and energy, where we could do really big things for our product and not worry about running a data center.
BPCL looks forward to have a collaborative engagement with Microsoft as we extensively use services like MS Outlook, Office, Teams, software development platforms, and now hosting almost practically everything what we are developing under Project Anubhav on cloud.
We are using Microsoft technologies like Power Apps and Power BI, AI technology and Azure to ready ourselves for the future.
See, Microsoft to me and in general represents excellence. It also represents reliability and security for the user.
We are setting up a joint university along with Microsoft to ensure that the talent in Kyndryl is skilled and enabled on the Microsoft technologies, and it's a continuing process. Second is we're investing in a co-innovation lab, which basically ensures and helps conduct POCs and more importantly, bring in some joint development work, especially around the edge and areas around modernization.
Redis and Microsoft have been operating in India for a long time. And we are very well positioned to understand that we must offer a complete regional footprint to our customers.
In this new normal of very rapid digital transformation, we as partners have continued to invest, continued to co-innovate, and also to simplify our architectures at the back end in order to strengthen this cloud partnership.
The possibilities are immense. We are committed to working hand in hand to give delightful experiences to our customers in their digital transformation journey.
Through our partnership with Microsoft, we are committed to enabling users to find what they need faster, keep mission-critical applications running smoothly, and protect against cyber threats.
L&T's association with Microsoft runs deep. Not only is L&T leveraging Microsoft's range of enterprise offerings for day-to-day operations, but over the years, we have also been at the forefront of using technology and innovation for sustainable growth.
We at HDFC Bank are very excited to partner with Microsoft as both these companies embark on a digital transformation journey. We wish Microsoft the very best and continue to partner with them on this exciting journey.
The future, as we see, is going to be innovation through cloud.
I now invite Anant Maheshwari, President Microsoft India, to give the welcome address.
Thank you so much, Rajiv. I would like to start by adding my own welcome and gratitude for Sri Rajiv Chandrasekhar for joining us today, the Honorable Union Minister of State, Electronics, IT and Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, members of the media. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm really honored to be here today to announce our intent to establish our largest India data center region in Hyderabad. This fourth Microsoft India data center is a reaffirmation of our commitment to strengthen India's economic resurgence and become an important innovation hub for the world. It also underlines how proud we are to be an integral part of India's growth over the last 3 decades. The Microsoft Cloud, that's what we are discussing here today. On this journey of growth, the Microsoft Cloud has truly been at the center of our vision for a digital India, which is why we are building it into the most trusted and comprehensive cloud in the industry globally. The Microsoft Cloud is truly global. We have over 160 physical data centers arranged into more than 60 regions, data center regions, and linked by one of the largest interconnected networks on the planet. Over 95% of the Fortune 500 companies use the Microsoft Cloud today. And just in the last 1 year, more than 1,000 new capabilities were added into the Microsoft Cloud. We are truly committed to build capability. Microsoft was amongst the first global cloud networks to invest with the public cloud in India data centers. In 2015, we launched 3 data center regions in India, in Pune, Chennai, and Mumbai. The yellow pins on this map reflect those 3 locations. And now, the new data center region in Hyderabad truly enhances this capability building for India. Our 8 Microsoft office locations in the country, which are the green pins on the map that you see, is another aspect of how we are developing expertise. Hyderabad has always been amongst the biggest investments for Microsoft in India. It is home to the largest Microsoft employee base, the largest engineering development center, and the largest campus outside of the United States. And now we will have our largest data center in India right here in Hyderabad. Our mission is to empower organizations. So whether it's government or digital natives like startups and unicorns, or a small and medium enterprise operating from a small town in India, our teams are partnering closely with businesses across India to help them achieve much more with the cloud. Our ecosystems of partners and customers is one of the strongest in the world. In India, more than 14,000 partner companies work with Microsoft, co-innovate with Microsoft to bring the capability to more than 340,000 customer organizations to create unique solutions for India and rapidly accelerate the Microsoft ecosystem, empowering the growth of India. Our mission is also to empower people. All of this helps empower people, not just the more than 18,000 plus strong Microsoft full-time employee families in India, but the entire ecosystem of professionals certified on the cloud. At last count, 4.5 lakh people have already declared they are certified on the Microsoft cloud. Now, these are opportunities that all of these people have to get very different, very much in the future digital jobs and get India future ready. So we all talk about three words very commonly. And you may ask, why is Microsoft investing big in India? Why set up this fourth and the largest data center that we have in India now? India's digital advantage began much before the pandemic struck, but it got accelerated during the pandemic. Microsoft also more than doubled the capacity of its existing 3 data center regions in India within the first year of the pandemic to serve all the digital need that the country had. The last 2 years have demonstrated how India can play a leading role for the next normal of the planet. These 3 powerful words, lead, India, digital, are core to driving growth for India and for the planet. So let me very briefly touch upon the current momentum and the potential of India by combining these 3 words in 3 different ways. First, India leads digital. India is truly setting up the leadership benchmarks of digital on the planet. We have evolved to create the largest digital identity system that is rapidly enabling billion-scale platforms. A great example is how India is catapulting to lead the mobile payment innovation and scale for the planet. Let me come to the second combination. Digital leads India. India's IT services industry serves to accelerate digital capabilities across the planet. The innovation in India is now accelerating through the 3rd largest startup ecosystem on the planet and the largest scale of unicorns being created on the planet at a pace that is unprecedented. What is amazing is the significant share of B2B players in the Indian startup ecosystem, indicating how India's SaaS ecosystem is maturing. Let me come to the third combination, leading digital India. Our unique strength is our large developer population and the rise of citizen developers. The power of India's 70 crore population under the age of 25 that is natively connected and mobile. India can scale the creation of digital assets and applications without necessarily knowing how to code software. And therefore, the use of low-code and no-code platforms like Microsoft's Power Platform can really enable this innovation across the country. We are also seeing the rise of digital native customers across industries and creating a greater urgency for entire industries to transform at scale. So let me bring it all together with the mission statement of Microsoft. Even as we focus on the current momentum and potential, it's important to remember that as creators, users, and advocates of technology, it is critical for us to make very careful choices. We must remember that people will only use tech that they trust, which is why we always ask the question, not just what tech can do, but what tech should do. And we truly believe that tech can and should be a force for good. Now, these are choices that tech ultimately translates with benefits and opportunities for all. So we are very optimistic about the role of tech, and it will have in improving the world and the lives of people everywhere. If the pandemic has taught us anything, it is that no business, no organization, nobody is 100% resilient, but those businesses and organizations that are fortified with digital capability are more resilient than those that are not. Microsoft's mission to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more is truly our North Star. And we aim to inspire all to dream, to define, and to build a better future. Thank you for your time and for your presence today. I hand it back to Rajiv Sodhi.
Thank you, Anand, for sharing your thoughts and for sharing that the fourth and the largest Microsoft data center region will be here in Hyderabad. Now, at this moment, we have a very special message from the President of Microsoft Asia, Mr. Ahmed Mazari, and I would love to share that with you. Can we please roll that video?
Hello, everyone. I'm thrilled that today we have announced our intent to establish our latest data center region in Hyderabad, Telangana. India is an integral part of the Azure region and a key contributor towards us becoming the global engine of innovation. We're excited for the opportunities this new data center region will unlock for governments, customers, and communities as they fulfill their transformation goals and aspirations. Today's announcement reinforces the increasing demand for cloud as a platform for digital transformation and as a foundation for India's future. This new data center region will not only contribute directly to the economy and our customers' success, but also create new skilled jobs and open up opportunities for careers in technology. With Microsoft Azure Cloud Services, we're proud to be enabling new and cutting-edge technology, from data analytics, advanced security, to productivity solutions, and the ever-expanding Internet of Things. Our mission is to empower everyone on the planet to achieve more. From partnering with governments, enterprises, SMEs, startups, to nonprofits, educational institutions, and citizens, our cloud services play a critical role in the future of the economic and societal growth of India. I also want to acknowledge the amazing opportunity that India has as one of the largest startups hubs of the world. Incredibly, India has created a unicorn every week in 2022, and cloud is the foundation of the extraordinary innovation that's coming out of India. We're also committed to supporting the wider communities where we operate in India, from introducing coding and data science in schools to a nationwide AI skilling initiative and cyber skilling for women. We're committed to partnering to help nurture digital talent in India that'll help shape the nation's future. We know that democratizing access to technology and resources can lead to breakthroughs and new ways of tackling societal challenges, something all of us at Microsoft are passionate about. Our ongoing data center expansion across the region will better support customers and partners of all sizes in their cloud-first journeys. And we're pleased to be unlocking even more potential for inclusive economic growth and societal progress in India. Thank you.
Ahmed, that was a special message from Mr. Ahmed Mazari, President, Microsoft Asia. Now, I would like to request our guest of honor, Shree Rajiv Chandrasekhar, to come here and share his thoughts. Sir.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Anant, for having me here. Thank you, Rajiv, for inviting me here this afternoon to speak at the announcement of the launch of the largest data center region of Microsoft in Hyderabad. It is appropriate that I'm here for many reasons. One, obviously, because we consider in the overall scheme of things and the architecture that the Prime Minister and the government of India is rolling out, data centers and clouds play a very important role in the coming years. So that's one clear reason for my presence here. The other reason is that just a week ago, we had a day-long public consultation on what will be a new national data center policy or a cloud policy for India. So this seems like a very interesting coincidence that we are sequencing it in that manner. And third, as I was sharing with Anant and the team, that there is a little bit of nostalgia here because the first job offer that I got when I graduated from computer science was this job to be engineer in the Pascal compiler of Microsoft in 1987. So that was 35 years ago. So maybe all of that combined got me here this morning. But look, it's an important event, it's an important occasion, it's an important milestone. It is an important element in what is clearly becoming a digital ecosystem that compares with the best in the world. And I congratulate you, Anant, and your team for doing this and making this significant investment. And I think, and I hope, and I think, I'm confident that it will be a shining example of India's tech prowess and the Indian digital economy in coming years and coming months. Let me just share a few thoughts with you in terms of how I see this, how I see the technology economy of India, the digital economy of India. In 2014, when our Prime Minister took office, he rolled out his vision for Digital India. India was not necessarily a newbie in the tech space. We had considerable expertise and reputation that had been built before 2014 in the technology services space. And we had built the Infosys, the Wipros, the HCLs of the world had been built pre-2014. But our Prime Minister laid out a very different kind of a vision for technology than just celebrating entrepreneurship or celebrating companies. He outlined 3 objectives in 2014. And I say this because it is relevant today and we are in a sense in a continuing journey of those 3 goals. He said technology must empower Indian citizens, transform their lives, transform governance and transform democracy. So that was one clear ask that he had from technology. The second one was that technology must create a vibrant digital economy and create more opportunities for both investment, entrepreneurship and jobs. And the third ask he had was that India would take global leadership, if not in all, but in some areas of emerging technology. So there were 3 broad objectives that he set out for his government and the country in 2014. And as Anant just laid out, I think on the first part, we are clearly, and I know I'm a minister in the government and therefore I'm in a sense biased towards talking about our government's achievements, but it is quite clear that India is the preeminent nation or is becoming one of the preeminent nations in terms of how technology has been deployed to improve governance and democracy. And Anand mentioned digital payments, he mentioned digital identity. The long-standing narrative about democracies being dysfunctional, about corruption being embedded at the core of public subsidies and public benefits delivery, which a famous quote by a prime minister in the late 80s, he characterized every 100 rupees that left Delhi, only 15 rupees reached the Indian citizen. That has been completely turned on its head and transformed into a narrative where technology has been used to demonstrate democracies can function, subsidies, large quantums of money that are going to address the underprivileged and the disadvantaged in our societies can reach them directly in their bank accounts with no leakage, with no corruption. It is a narrative that held true for 60, 65 years, and that has been turned on its head through simply the use of technology and embedding technology in government. So we are clearly on the road to becoming a preeminent, if not already a preeminent nation in the use of technology for the benefit of our citizen to strengthen governance. On the digital economy front, in the creation of opportunities front, you are aware. The gentleman from President Microsoft Asia spoke about it, about the rate at which unicorns are being created, the rapid pace of the innovation ecosystem in our country, the entrepreneurship, the vibrant entrepreneurship, the investment. We are the fastest growing economy today post-COVID with investments, FDI, that is a foreign direct investment, that ranks as highest amongst all nations in the world. And if you extrapolate those 4-5 years of Digital India, to the last 2 years during COVID, and you look back at how we performed during COVID, this resilience, this response to this unprecedented disease that laid lives and livelihoods low, and how we have bounced back as the fastest growing economy, creating this vibrant innovation ecosystem, creating investments and opportunities. A lot of that has to do with the investments made in technology and embedding technology in government and in the private sector over the last 5 years. So I stand here to tell you that that journey continues post-COVID at a rate and a pace that will be even faster and deeper in many ways. And this is clearly what the Prime Minister of India has signaled, Narendra Modi ji has signaled, even with this latest budget in 2022 March. For us at the ministry, we have broadly carved out 6 broad goals to deliver on in the next 700 days. One is clearly about connecting Indians, and I'll come back to that. The digital economy piece we've spoken about. We've talked about modern cyber laws, digital government, talent, and then deep technology. Let me just quickly touch on two aspects of these goals. One is this whole issue of connecting Indians and giving them the world-class infrastructure that they need. Today we have 80 crore Indians online, and that is expected to, in the next 2 years, very rapidly grow to 120 crore Indians as the BharatNet project enters its final phase of rollout. As you know, BharatNet is the world's largest rural broadband connectivity project. That, along with the imminent launch of the 5G auctions and the 5G network upgrade, will mean from a connectivity point of view, India will be the largest connected nation in the world. Even if you stretch the argument that China is a connected nation and you ignore the fact that it sits behind an intranet, even then, we will be amongst the largest connected nations in the world. That has a whole dynamic, that along with the fact that we are now rapidly cloudifying, and I'm using that phrase, I've just made this up on the flight, rapidly cloudifying our MSMEs, our citizens, our government, will mean that both the connectivity piece and the data center, the storage piece are 2 elements of infrastructure that are going to be in high demand in the coming years as, like I said, citizens, governments, businesses, and MSMEs all go online and seek to be digital. Quick point about digital government and how that too will be an element that will drive what is the intensification of the digitization of the Indian economy. The government, as you saw, has already made rapid strides in using technology in governance. But over the next 2 years, you will see a stark, sharp acceleration of that digitization. And increasingly, more and more government apps and services will go to the cloud. More and more of the non-personal data will be used to create an innovation and data ecosystem that will sit off of this cloud. And again, we are looking at tremendous opportunity for innovation and entrepreneurship that will be built around that effort by the government in digitizing itself. A few words on the cloud itself. Data centers. There are data centers and there are data centers, and data centers, as you know, are clear requirements for a country and an economy that is rapidly digitizing and is onlining at a pace faster than any other country in the world. But as we move forward, we will start a conversation, as the public consultations have shown in Chennai, about how we create these clouds to be more secure, more reliable, because one of the public policy objectives of our government is not just to connect all Indians or not just to digitize and enable all Indian businesses, but it is also to make sure that the cyberspace in India remains open, safe and trusted, and accountable. So we have a number of things to do in terms of making sure the cyberspace is safe and trusted for all of those participants in that cyberspace. And as you know, if we are going to be a country with 1.2 billion Indians who are going to be online, we will have children, we will have women, we will have pensioners, we will have working professionals, including small businesses that are all going to be online, and they will go to the internet and see this internet as their lifeline to progress and prosperity. So in a lot of ways, the data center operators and the government working in partnership have to work and ensure that the internet and the cloud remain safe and trusted and secure. And with that, I again thank you, Anant and Rajiv, for having me over to this very remarkable complex. I wish you luck with your the largest data center, and I hope that you continue to contribute to the growth and rise of the Indian digital economy. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, for sharing your thoughts with us. May I request the Honorable Minister and Anant to come together for a photograph to mark this opportunity. Thank you. I'll request Anand to give a special memento to the Honorable Minister. Thank you, sir, for sharing your thoughts and for sparing your valuable time. Thank you, everyone. We will now move to the Q&A section. As I've shared in our agenda, we'll do the address from all our guests, and we will start the Q&A section from all of you in the media. May I now invite Shree Rajiv Kumar, Managing Director, Microsoft India Development Center, on the stage. Rajiv, welcome on stage. And we'll have Anand come back very, very shortly. And just a few ground rules. May I request everyone to just state their name and publication before asking the questions. We have all of you here, so you can raise your hand. We have members of our team who will come to you. And we also have my colleague Seema, who will be addressing questions from the journalists who are coming through us online. So we'll just give it a minute, and Anant will be back, and we can start the Q&A. Thank you, Rajiv, for joining us on stage. Okay, I hope we are using the time to get ready with our questions. Yes. Meanwhile, Since Rajiv is on stage with us, I'll just use this time to briefly introduce him. Rajiv Kumar is the Managing Director at Microsoft India Development Center, which is the largest offshore engineering center of Microsoft. IDC, as it is popularly known, is a microcosm of Microsoft engineering. It drives some of our most impactful and innovative work across cloud and AI, gaming, experiences and devices, security, compliance, and information management. Across Hyderabad, Bangalore, and Noida, these talent hubs are hybrid by design. So Rajiv, thank you for joining us on stage. And maybe we can have the first question for Rajiv on, okay, gentlemen, why don't you go there?
Good afternoon. My name is Ravi Kumar and I'm from the Hindu newspaper. The announcement was that you have launched the data center. The release says that Microsoft has the intent to set up data center. It would be great if you could clarify in terms of what actually is the status of the data center as such. What is the investment that you're making into it? And how many such data centers are you planning in Telangana? Or what time frame it will be commissioned?
Sure. I will start and then of course Anand can add more from business side. In terms of our commitment, this is announced, so all the groundwork in terms of securing this place, partnership with the government, partnership with all the people around in the ecosystem is in place actually. The actual work has started. We will not be able to say exactly when that will be operational. When you build a world-class data center that is one of the largest, it takes years. So we want to do it as quickly as possible, especially with the country going through the digital transformation. The asks are growing exponentially. So we will want to do it ASAP or as soon as possible in the next couple of years. So, and we have everything moving along as of today. That's why we are announcing it today. I hope that answers your question.
Rajiv, this is Kurmanath here, this side.
There. Oh, sorry.
Kurmanath from Business Land. Where is it coming in Hyderabad? And there have been reports saying that no, it is coming up in some 500 acres or 20,000 crore investment. Can you please clarify on that?
So because of the confidentiality of the infrastructure that we have, we won't be able to comment around the specific locations where the data centers will come up. It's anyway an evolutionary thing. We will set up the first set of infrastructure. It is in Hyderabad region. That's what we can say today. And it will be the largest data center that we will have in India going forward.
Also from security perspective, we want to make sure that is secure and we do want to highlight the exact location.
Can you throw some light on when is the at least first phase will be completed? And
yes. So typically it takes at least 24 months to create an infrastructure like that. The target date for the operationalization of this data center will be 2025.
One last question from my side is, can you throw some light on India data center market and where exactly you figure there?
So the entire cloud market, and I would call it the cloud opportunities in India, both for customers, partners, governments across the planet, across the country, it's expected to be in the region of about $10 billion of the total estimate in the next 3 or 4 years. It's rapidly growing above nearly 20% per annum in terms of the growth rates. This is the IDC and other analyst estimates of what the cloud market are. We don't do these estimates ourselves. And in overall, we are the #1 public cloud provider in India, just like we are the #1 public cloud provider globally.
Hi, this is Swati from Times of India. Can you tell us about the investment, because we are hearing a lot of figures and we don't want to get anything wrong. I've heard about 15,000 crore and about 50 acres or so. Is that correct?
So let me quickly, and I can fully understand your need to get figures on investments. I will just explain how the data center sort of construction and service provision works. It is a continuous process. As you heard me speak a little while back, just in the last 2 years, which is within the first year of the pandemic, we more than doubled our capacity of the data centers in India, which means it is an ongoing investment process. It is not a one-time investment that happens in creation of data center assets. Similarly, even for the Hyderabad data center, it will be an ongoing process. There'll be a starting set of capabilities and it will expand. Our plan is, of course, to expand it to become the largest in the country. It won't be largest on the day one, but it will become largest over a period of time. Now, to at least give you some sense of the impact that it will have in terms of the economy and jobs, we'd asked IDC to do an estimate of what is the real impact on the economy of the 3 data centers that already exist from Microsoft in India. And to just give you a rough sense of what that magnitude is, if you just take the last 5 years, the total overall revenue that has got generated by Microsoft and its partner ecosystem in India in just the last 5 years is roughly about $10 billion total. Now that you put in context that it is growing very rapidly year on year, so it's definitely growing from that number to the future. And then also looking at the jobs that it brings, in the same time frame, nearly 170,000 tech professional roles would have been created with the services that got used both by partners and customers from these data centers. Now, all of that is going to accelerate as we go forward with this new investment. So, and I'll suffice to limit it to, at this point in time, to think about the impact on the economy and the impact on jobs.
Thank you, Anand. And I want to give a chance to our online colleagues who've joined us. So, Seema, I'm coming to you for the next question. Any question from the media professionals who have joined online?
Yes, we can hear you now, Seema.
Great, thank you. Rajiv, thank you for that. And yes, we have questions coming in steadily from our friends who've joined us virtually. But here's the first question. And the question is, what will be the impact on job creation through setting up of the new data center region here?
So I guess I just answered that question, but maybe since this has been asked, let me add one more factoid on this. Maybe I'll pull it from the presentation that I just made a little while back. I spoke about the certified professionals on the Microsoft cloud already who have declared that they are certified. The actual numbers will be much larger than this, but just on the social platforms, nearly 4.5 lakh people have declared that they're already certified on the Microsoft cloud. And they are building these skill sets. All of those people will have greater opportunities with the expansion of the Microsoft cloud.
Next question, Seema.
Yeah, thank you for that, Anand. The next question is, what measures will Microsoft take in terms of skilling and community development with the launch of this new data center?
Let me give an India view, then I'll ask Rajiv to come in and speak a lot about the work that we are doing in Hyderabad and some of our regions where a lot of talent is a focus for us, engineering talent. Broadly, skilling today is not just about the core tech jobs that we may think of in the engineering domain or in the tech domain. I'll take a very simple example of even somebody who's operating as a security guard over the last maybe a decade. That person's role itself has transformed over the last decade and today has a lot more tech capability in managing the different inputs, data signals that this person has to therefore provide as part of the role of providing security. And therefore, I believe strongly, and we have a very strong belief as Microsoft, that every job will have some form of a digital element going forward. So we're working very closely with Ministry of Labor and Employment to even look at a much broader skilling framework than just the technology skilling core to software and coding. Yes, we already do a lot more on the software and coding side, and especially when it comes to creating special opportunities for girls and women in driving that. We have a lot of programs working with the government of India, different ministries in driving skilling. So there's a very strong focus on both tech skilling and broader digital skilling in the economy. Rajiv, you'd like to add?
No, I think, Anand, you covered it well. But if you think about, look, Microsoft has, like, we see two parts of the skilling and two parts of the engineering organization. One that build the data center, that supports the data center, but that's, though we will have it in India Development Center, but that will be very small compared to the opportunity that that platform provides to all the other engineers. And with the kind of product we are shipping, which is low code or no code, the ability to create application on top of the platform will really open up awesome opportunity to every citizen in this country, actually. My friend Anand talked about like 460,000 or 4.5 lakhs, but I think it will be 10x more, because if you put all the students that can do work on top of Microsoft Cloud, is like we are talking about millions of people getting opportunities on these data centers for the country.
Thank you, Anant and Rajiv. And so I come back to the room. Any questions in the room? Yes, please.
Sharath from Hans India. I have a couple of questions. One, out of the new jobs that are going to create, how many percentage, how much percentage will be for freshers? Is there any scope for freshers? That is one question.
Okay.
So it'll be tough to estimate exactly what you refer to as freshers. First of all, that term, just in terms of explaining it, I'm assuming you're talking about individuals who are graduating out of schools and colleges and are therefore ready for employment. That's what you may be referring to. And just to clarify there, we have very strong programs both to recruit directly from campuses, but more than that, it's the partner ecosystem and the customer ecosystem of Microsoft India that has a very significant recruitment that happens of fresh talent. The IT industry in India is amongst the biggest recruiters there. The startup industry in India is a very significant recruiter there. And now increasingly, the traditional industries like manufacturing, banking, financial services are also recruiting in a very big way for talent, which could be technical, could be engineering, could be deep tech. So you could have a full range of skill sets coming into the economy. At Hyderabad and engineering, I'll ask Rajiv to comment.
No, this is a very good question, by the way, because I'll tell you my personal experience. When I came back to, when I was graduating in the early 90s, 90% of the engineers from this country, from good colleges, IIT, NIT, Triple IT, would go to US. When I came back in early 2000, 2002, 2003, still 95% would go to US. With all the work that companies like Microsoft, Startup, and other GIC has done, it is amazing to see that talking about engineering talent freshers, they are staying back in the country. 90% of IITians are staying back. And as a result, you can see the boom that is happening in terms of startup, in terms of unicorns. So I think the platform that Microsoft is announcing today, Microsoft like Azure and Microsoft Cloud Data Center, will actually empower them even more to create innovations and impactful solutions for this country and for the world. So I think for freshers, awesome opportunity coming up.
Thank you, Anant and Rajiv.
You're saying it's the largest. Yeah, I have one more question. You heard largest. What is the capacity? Could you, if you couldn't tell the exact number, at least could you compare with other existing centers at Pune or something?
So as I mentioned, and I'll explain this once again, there is no set capacity of a data center. Whenever we design data centers, whenever we put them up, we truly work towards an unlimited capacity expansion for the future. That itself, the demands of that has changed. And as we are setting up Hyderabad, it'll be designed to have much more than what we have already in our existing 3 locations. It is really designed for the future. I think we're running out of time a little bit, so maybe just
one last question.
Sorry, excuse me,
IPO
let
plans.
me ask.
Can we go to the lady here, please, from Times of
I
India?
just wanted to check, can you give a sense of how, the headcount for Hyderabad is now for Microsoft? And I believe you have new buildings coming up. So how is it likely to increase going forward?
No, very good question. As Anand talked about in the kickoff, we are almost like more than 18,000 full-time. Then we have partners that we work with, partners who come to the campuses to work, partners that work from their own campus. So it's a big ecosystem. In terms of Hyderabad, as again, I'll repeat, Hyderabad is one of the largest employee center after Redmond. India is the largest development center after US. In like Hyderabad, we continue to bet on Hyderabad. That's the fourth building you will see. We'll go up to like almost 2.5 million square feet campus here, and was the largest single campus in the world, actually second largest after Redmond. So these are like just shows the amount of commitment the company has to the country and to Microsoft. Though we do have data center development center across the country, and I will talk about that in my talk later today.
Thank you, Rajiv. Seema, I come.
Like build space. We have 54 acres of land and we continuously build. This is like the build space. It's quite significant.
We can get more details on that on the current campus to you. So maybe if Seema and team can just take a very quick action here for whoever wants more details around the Microsoft built up infrastructure, both in Hyderabad and across India, we can get that data to you.
Yeah, sure. Sure, we will, Anand.
Seema, next question from you from the folks who've joined online.
Yes, there's one from which has come to us from Payal Ganguly, your story, and she says, which market is it going to serve apart from India clients? Also, on what basis, report, year of publishing, do you determine that they are number one public cloud providers in India? So I think we've answered the second part, but the first part, Anand.
Yeah, so I'll focus on the first part of the question, which is what markets and how do we design data centers. So first of all, we offer customers the option of which data centers they want to actually leverage in terms of physical infrastructure. So customers can choose whichever data center they want to keep their capabilities in. Today we offer 3 options in India. Going forward, once the Hyderabad data center is ready, it will be 4 options that will be available to these customers in the future. We do find that in the India data centers, a very significant proportion comes from customers of Indian origin, but there are global companies also operating in India, and they also use the capabilities of the India data centers. And Indian companies also, as you know, have a lot of global operations, so they do use our network very interchangeably across the planet. I mentioned earlier, we have more than 160 data centers across the planet and more than 60 cloud regions. And they're fully interconnected, they're fully capable of offering a lot of these services seamlessly across the board, and we do see customers shifting. Back to you.
Thank you, Anand. And we have one question around the number of employees in Hyderabad. Is that higher than the respective team in the US, Redmond?
Let Rajiv take that question.
Of course, Redmond is the headquarter, US is the headquarter. We are talking hundreds of thousands of employees. But Hyderabad is one of the largest. If you move out of the US, India is the largest. And if you move out of Redmond, Hyderabad is the highest. And we continue to grow. There's no one number I can quote, because one number I quote today will be different tomorrow, because we are literally hiring as fast as we can find the world-class engineers in the country, actually. Yeah.
Thank you for that, Rajiv.
Thank you.
Rajiv, is there a chance to take one more?
Okay, let's take one last question from online.
Can you please use the mic?
Now you have covered the west and south broadly with data centers. Is there any plan for north and east? Or these data centers will be enough to take care of the India business?
At this point in time, if you look at our infrastructure, we actually serve all parts of the country already from the 3 data centers that we have. Just to give you a sense of how we take decisions on locations for data centers, it's built on a lot of geographic factors, including thinking through seismic plates that India sits on, because that creates a better footprint for disaster recovery for customers. So just to think of very big natural events, disasters, which could cause it could affect services in one part of the country. You can have disaster recovery immediately in another part of the country. Hyderabad sits on a different seismic plate. We also announced Azure availability zones in December 2021, which is just a few months back, wherein the customers had a greater resilience in their capabilities. Additionally, we will also be bringing in new services in these data centers. So in general, my response to you would be already there are companies which are from all parts of India leveraging the data centers because of very strong networking that is already available. So it is not necessary to have it in every city and every area of the country, we already have that capability. So I hope that addresses.
Thank you.
Do we have one last one?
Yes,
or
one
Seema?
last question. I was just going to say we have time for one last question. So anyone in the room?
What are your plans?
Can you please use the mic?
Already on. So what are your plans bringing back to offices this post-pandemic scenario?
Very good question. It is difficult to predict in these times, but I'll be very candid. We work on a very defined mechanism across Microsoft in terms of the campus availability for our people. People remain our priority during all of these times over the last 2 years. We have a 6-stage process that works to look at the local environment, the safety norms announced by the government. We, of course, adhere with all the laws in the local jurisdictions. And for Microsoft India, across all locations of Microsoft India, we have announced that tomorrow we will be getting to the final stage of our 6-stage process, stage 6. So the campuses will be open for employees to come in and leverage all the capabilities that are on campus. It will, of course, be structured over a phase-wise manner across the country as we have people come back. Sorry,
we'll have to close.
Sorry, we'll have to close because we're
we're out of time
at this point.
So first of all, Anant and Rajiv Kumar, thank you so much, for patiently answering every question, and thank you to all of you for joining us. We will break for lunch now. Lunch is right outside this hall, and then I would request everyone to come back here into this hall at 1:40. We will have the Minister of State, Honorable Minister of State, Shree Rama, and we'll continue the agenda from there. Thank you so much, and see you at 1:40.